Hey creatives, I'm Rita Barakat and this is Mixed Media Monday. Now today we're going to talk about, well, we're actually going to work in an art journal and we're going to do an art project with just 5 colors. You don't need a whole lot of paint, even though I know you see a ton of paint behind me and I know I show you tons of paint on Mixed Media Monday, but if you have a limited amount of supplies, it's okay because you can create other colors and other things with your products. Now I am going to use a little bit of modeling paste, but that's just bonus in addition to what we're going to do. So we're going to work on an art journal page. It's going to be totally fun. Hi Danielle, and hello to my replay viewers. If you guys are watching the replay, please do put a replay on there, hashtag replay, so I can see it. Hi Asdel. Hi guys. Yeah, it's Facebook's been kind of wonky today, right? So I was crossing my fingers and hoping that I could come on here live because I haven't been able to post the videos. It just hasn't been working for me. So I'm like, I need to go live. And if you can see in the background, I feel like a Hawaii thing. I pulled out my beach scene right here because today was like 93 degrees and it's supposed to be fall. Go figure. I don't know. This is Texas, crazy weather. So we are going to work on our art journal page. Yes, it's working on our art journal page, and it's going to be super fun and super easy. And I think you'll get a lot of techniques out of this. Okay, so I'm going to pan down and let's take a look at my desk. All right. So on my desk, I have my art journal. I'm going to turn on this light right here. And you can see here, I think you can see, I did a little sketch here and I just lightly sketched a girl here and I was using her just as a template so that I can make sure I don't want to color in her face with the colors that I'm going to do in the background. No, I grabbed some paint. Now, I know that most of you are probably thinking, oh, well, if you're going to do a body or a face, you're going to need a flesh colored paint, right? So I did grab a flesh color paint, but I want to caution you on that because don't use it. You don't want to use it straight out of the bottle. The reason why is because it's probably not going to look like flesh, number one, or it might not look like the flesh that you want it to be. So you may have to do some adjusting to it. And the thing is that if you do it right out of the bottle, then everybody else is going to have the same color flesh as you do, right? As yours does. So I grabbed a little orange, which can give us some nice tint for faces. I also grabbed a pink, and I wasn't really worried about what shades. I was just grabbing some colors. I grabbed a pink so that we could do like blush, that type of thing. I grabbed a dark blue so that we can do some dark details. Not using black, but we're going to also use a white because I want to use just a really light wash in the background with that blue. Okay, so 5 colors. That's all the colors that I'm going to use. And I'll show you that we can do a whole page with just using 5 colors. You can even do it with less if you are so inclined. I'm going to check over here really quick. Just excuse me for 1 minute because I am making sure that I can see and that you guys can see and I can see your comments. All right, perfect. Let's see. Looks like everything is working. Yay! Okay. So we are live. Perfect. Okay, I'm turning the sound. All right. Yes, definitely we are going to use some white. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Renee. And of course, hello to you if you pop on later and I don't catch you. So hopefully I'll be able to catch all your comments in real time. All right, so we've got our colors. I did grab a palette knife, a little palette. I know it's kind of messy. And I thought it would be kind of fun to show you how to do something 3D. So I have these old flowers in my stash And I bet you guys have like flowers in your stash too. I actually bought a ton of these because I really liked the bottle shape, and I tend to do that. I mean, I don't know why I need the bottles. I don't, but I thought it would be, I just really like the shape. I just thought they were cute, like little milk bottles. So I'm going to pull out some of these flowers that we will use. And we're going to make them 3D, and it's going to be really fun. Okay. So we've got the bottles, the bottle of flowers, and I did grab some Mod Podge Ultra. Now this is bonus. I do want you to know that you can do an art journal page with just 5 colors. All right. Yeah, I figured you guys would have some in your stash. All right, so let me pull this down a little bit here. And I know a lot of people like to do their backgrounds first, but I'm not going to worry about that first. I'm going to worry about her skin color, because to me, if I don't get the skin color right, then to me, it kind of ruins the whole thing. I don't know, maybe stresses me out a little bit. But that's just me. So we'll go ahead and start with this flush. I'm shaking it off the camera so that, because sometimes when you shake it on the camera, it messes up the camera. So we're going to put this flush color there. And it's all right. It looks a little bit too much like plastic, like Barbie to me. So we're going to put a little orange here so that we can pull a little bit. I'm going to put this pink. Oops, I forgot to shake that up. Oh, the top is stuck. Okay, here it goes. Grab a little pink. I am using folk art paint from Plaid. Oh, there's hardly any in this one, so let's get another one. Okay, so I'm switching out this one for this one, similar, because it feels empty. And we're just going to put this one over here. This is going to be our dark. All right, and then we'll put the white over here for when we need it. As you can see, I'm not using that much paint. It's kind of like you kind of have to play. Yes, I have this crazy palette, and I don't clean it very often, as you can see. Okay, so we're gonna pull, I think I just like the colors, and I just want to paint. Okay, so I'm blending some of this orange with this flush. Now, if you want, and for me, it makes it a little bit more tan looking, more natural looking. You can also add a little bit of brown, but I will caution you to use a little bit at a time, because it's a lot easier to make it darker than it is to make it lighter. So we're just going to check underneath here and see, you know. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see. Maybe we add just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of blue here. And we're just going to pull some darker down here. So just adding that touch of blue helped us brown it out a little bit. And you don't need a whole lot of color. I'm just going to go in. What's nice about acrylic is that it dries really quickly, especially on paper, which is what we're using, mixed media paper tonight. Let's go here. And I'm just going to go right up here. And you can paint right on top of another color once it dries, and it dries really quickly. So I want to mix a little bit more. And so I mix as I go. It's not perfect. I mean, if you're trying to get a really big surface, you know, if it was a really large piece, I would definitely mix beforehand. But the one thing, if you've ever noticed, is that skin has different colors in it. It's not all one color, right? Our skin, if you look at a picture, you're gonna see gray and blue undertones, red undertones, or yellow undertones. So there's a lot in the mix. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit more. So I'm taking that same color, see that? And I'm also dipping it in the original flesh color to give us a little bit of a lighter tone here for the nose. And we can go right above. And I did paint right over the eyebrows, but I can still see them. And if you notice, I have not, and I did not wet my paintbrush before I started. That's just me. You know, if you like to wet your paintbrush, go for it. So if you notice, I tried to make that the nose, the bridge of the nose and the base of the nose, one stroke. And we're going to go right in here with the darker color, because underneath the nose might be a shadow, right? Just depending on where your light is. So we're going to go right in there. I know, she kind of probably looks like a zombie. That's all right. Okay, for this particular one, we are going to make her eyes closed. So I'm just going right over that, right over her eyes. And I can't talk today. I've used a light layer of paint all over, so I can still see my pencil line underneath. I'm not sure if you can on the live stream, but I can see them. You know, I can see here's the eyebrows, here's the shape for the eyes, here's where the nose is and where it ends. You can see that. Now, if your lip color, if you want it to look a little more neutral, a neutral color, you can color the lips with flesh first and then go over it with another color. I'm gonna add some of this orange to the pink and kind of give us a mix here. An orange pinkish, orange pinky, I don't know, pinkish orange. Yeah, that color. And give us a nice little color here. I'm not trying to get it perfect right now. We're just filling in color. You know, I will go with a smaller brush when I'm ready for details. So yeah, that's good for me. I am now going to get the brush wet and going to go over her cheeks a little bit with this color. So the same color I'm using for the lips, I just got my brush a little wet. We're just going to lightly give her a little blush. So the brush is not soaking wet. And I can even blend that even more with my finger. Okay. Try to make that a little less circly. Okay. Oh yeah, I like it. Those are great emojis for this, Danielle. All right. So now that I have the skin mostly down, I'm like, okay, good. I'm good with this. I'm good with the face. Now we're going to add some details. So you can, at this point, go ahead and do the background first and then do the hair on top. It's probably easier. So let's do that. So I just want to do a very light wash of like a light blue in the background. So I'm taking my whiter paintbrush and I'm just gonna dip a little bit in this blue and a little bit in the white, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go over here to a dry spot. I'm gonna kind of blend that together and see if that's light enough. I think that'll work. I may want it even a little lighter. So if you want a little lighter, we're gonna grab a little more water. All right. So now that that's nice and wet, we're just gonna do the background. And just a wash right over. And I don't worry, you guys, about, if you see over here, there are spots that came through from one of my other designs. I don't worry about that. I think it's all good, you know, especially in our art journals where we're creating because we are just wanting to be creative and we're experimenting and doing different things. So sometimes it's just bonus, right? It's like a bonus in the background that you have. So I don't worry about it. Okay, I'm just going through. So I'm just filling in the background anywhere where I feel like there might be a hole for her hair somewhere. You know, maybe over here, I don't know. We'll see once we fill in the hair, see how it looks. You know, and if it's too light for you, you know, go in and add some more blue, right? Go add some more color and then just go over it again. Okay. All right. So we're keeping this, you know, this is already dry, you guys. See that? Already dry. And this will dry really quickly too. A wash is only going to take as long as, you know, water takes to dry. So let's go in and do her hair. I'm going to grab now a different paintbrush because I want, let's see, I want a round paintbrush. Let's look for a round paintbrush. There are different paintbrushes that you want to use for different things, different sizes. I want to use this round one because I want to make some hair strands going all the way over, and I am going to get it wet. And we're just going to dip it in this blue. And you see, can you see that hopefully you can see. Yeah, I think you can see. So I'm just kind of rolling this right into the blue. I don't want to have clumps of paint on there, but I want to have enough paint on there that I can make a nice long strand. So I'm actually going to start at half, and let's see how far we can go. That's pretty good. And okay. So you can see I'm holding the end of my paintbrush. I want it to be really loose. I want her hair to be super free, like it's blowing in the wind. I don't know why, but I really like to paint girls' hair with blowing in the wind. Now, I will tell you that if I was doing this on a canvas, not on paper, right? Because you want it to last longer. And, you know, a canvas is going to be exposed to light and all those kinds of things. I would use instead like a gloss medium or a matte medium instead of adding so much water. Okay, but because we're doing it on paper, we can add a lot of water for our flow. And it works for us. But for longevity, right, for your work, you're doing something important, you want to use like a gloss medium or something. Oops, I got that flesh in there. I don't want it. So I'm just gonna rub this in here. Let's get a little more water in here. So be careful when you're playing with your paint. Okay, and let's do some squiggles down because let's say over here, she's got some hair down here by her neck, which most of us do. And let's just say this is blowing from around the corner. And let's get some over here because I don't want to give her a bald spot, right? Okay, so these lines, I'll cover that up right there, are going to define where our paint's going. All right, I like it, that works. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. And let's work over here. We can use this pink, and we're gonna bring it, let's bring it over here and deposit it there. And we're gonna pick up some of this blue. It has a little bit of flesh in it, but it won't matter because we're mixing it with the pink. Oh, it looks like that blue is really canceling out that pink, so let's add a little more pink. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but it is a purple here. Okay, and so let's give her, you know what, it's a windy day. Let's give her like a turtleneck or something here. Right? So we're just gonna go in and do that first layer. All right, now let's fill her in. We're gonna fill her in with some purple. Now my paintbrush is wet, so that's why it's doing that, which it's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so it kind of gives that watercolor look. And let's use the same color for some of her hair. And I'm just gonna start right at the face. And we're just gonna drag this down. Right, because most of it is already dry. Some of it might streak, but that's okay. Let's pull that up, and let's pull one up here. So she will have streaks of purple. Okay, and now let's get some more water, and let's go back to the blue. Just want to make sure it's watered down. But of course not as light as our background. Super cool. We're gonna get that in the middle there. And just going right on top. And if some of it bleeds, that's okay. No panicking. It's all good. Now right here, we're gonna need to cover up that little area there. So I'm gonna take my round brush. But I want to first, I'm pulling some of that water out. So if you have like a paper towel or something, that's good. Okay, and dipping it back in here. And so these areas where it went over the flesh. Now, if we had done her hair blue and then done her skin color and some of it got on the skin color, that would be really hard, right, to remove. So it really just depends on what, you know, what colorings you're using. You know, if the hair is lighter than the skin or vice versa. I'm just filling in any areas that might still be white around the skin. All right. Now, let's go back in here with this blue. And we're just gonna make some lines for her turtleneck. And let's grab some of that purple if we can. We may even dip it in a little white. White is just as good as black for making accents. You know, we can even put a little white streak. Like that there. Okay. We're also going to put a little, just a tiny bit of white here. I'm using the very tip. And we're going to use this also for a lighting on her nose. A little bit for the eyebrows just underneath. Here are our lines. You can see the blues coming out. Here's her. And we don't have to have black to do lines. We can do whatever we want. Okay, so I'm taking the same paintbrush. I have not rinsed it. I'm just dipping it now back in the blue. Let's give her, I'm using the very tip. That's what's nice about a round brush, is you can use the very tip for lines. And I'm using that white line that I made to guide me for her eyebrows, especially since I'm doing them upside down. Let's give her a couple. Now you could use a smaller brush for the eyelashes. Okay. So this is without any detail. We're just, you know, doing this rough. So here's what's really cool. We can go in here. So now that it's, ooh, I don't know how I did that. I must have gotten it on my arm or something. I don't know what happened there. Oh, no, I have to fix it because I saw it. Once you see it, I don't know, gotta fix it. If I didn't see it, it wouldn't be a big deal, whatever. I just didn't like that blob there. All right. Let's put the white through it. Okay, perfect. All right, so now that we've got our basic design, what we can do, this is the coolest stuff. If you haven't used this before, the Mod Podge Ultra Spray On. Now, it does take time, and this is not one that you can rush, but I will tell you. Okay, so first I'm just going to spray on here. And then I'm going to put my flowers. I'm going to arrange my flowers. You know, and think of this. Sorry, my hair's now. I'm going to spray that. I'm going to put one on top. I'm going to spray that. Now, what happens here when this is fully dry? this is the coolest product because what happens is that it hardens. So even though it's a paper flower, whatever shape that it's in, it will stay that way, which means I got to fix this one because the little leaf, the little petal was underneath. And I don't want it like that. So, and I don't want it flat either. So I don't want it flat. So I'm just kind of pushing this up with my palette knife. Okay. And let's grab one more. Let's do one up here. And so it makes your paper things or anything. I mean, you could put sand, you could put beads, whatever you put on there, it's gonna stay. I mean, it is going nowhere. And the matte does it in such a way where you don't notice the Mod Podge. Now, the gloss, and I am gonna pick up some of this, the gloss does have a sheen to it. So, you know, if you want it shiny, you can do that. Because sometimes you want a really shiny surface, sometimes you want it matte. So once this is dry, these flowers will stick up all by themselves, but they'll be sturdy because if you've used paper flowers before, and I have, you know that they don't stay. They end up falling off or they end up ripping. They're not very sturdy. Let's put this one there. So I wish I could fast forward and show you the finish, but I can't show you the finished product right now, but I will tell you that I'll show it to you guys once it's dry. And I mean, I don't know if other people have used a heat gun with it, but when I used a heat gun with it, it didn't really work. So I don't want to do that. So we have to wait. Some things you got to wait for, you guys. Some things we got to be patient. And I probably should have grabbed some little beads or something to put in the middle. I'll probably go back and do that later. But they will be nice and stiff, and so when your book closes, it's still going to stay exactly like it is. Now, for me, I do tend to go back in. Once this is dry and I have time to sit down, I will go back in and put some more details. So probably when you see it finished, you'll see some other details on there because that's how I do it. But of course, you can do it with all just paint, or you could go in with a pen, right? You can go with the pen and a little small tip pen, and then you can go in and put the fine details in there. And for the lips, don't go in there with black, you guys. Please do not make her lips like outlined in black because that looks really weird. And then you're looking at your picture and you're like, what's wrong with her lips? So don't do that. So anyways, that's what I have for you tonight for Mixed Media Monday. I do want to remind you that I will be live on Friday as well. I will be here live doing at noon Central Standard Time. I will be doing an online gallery show. So I'm going to be showing lots of my art. I've got brand new artwork to show you guys. We're going to talk about it. If you guys have any questions, you can always ask me ahead of time and I can answer them live, or you can ask me live on that episode. And I would really, really love for you guys to share with your friends, and so that all you guys can be there together. I have lots of new art to show, and I'm just super excited about it and my ventures in Artland. So that's what I have. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, give me like, a thumbs up or something, or a heart. That would be awesome. And even better, share with your friends. Okay, guys, this is Mixed Media Monday. I'm Rita Barakat, and I will see you next Monday night. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.